Hi there, I'm John McAdams, founder of the Big Game Hunting blog, and in this video I'm going to do a detailed comparison of the .308 Winchester, 30-06 Springfield, and 300 Winchester Magnum cartridges. Now I think that most hunters would probably agree that all three of those cartridges are incredibly popular and effective for hunting all sorts of big game all over the world. However, while there are some big differences between those three cartridges in some areas, those differences are often made out to be much bigger than they are in reality. Now, while they are indeed different in a few key respects, they also do have a lot in common. And so not surprisingly, there is quite a bit of confusion surrounding the strengths and weaknesses of the .308, the 30-06, and the 300 Win Mag, and how they compare to each other. So this video is a detailed analysis of the .308, 30-06, and 300 Win Mag, so you can make an informed decision regarding which individual cartridge fits your particular hunting needs the best. So let's go ahead and get started.
We'll start off with a brief history of these three cartridges. Introduced in 1906 and developed as an improvement to the 30-03 Springfield cartridge, the U.S. Army designed the 30-06 Springfield for use in the 1903 Springfield rifle. Using smokeless powder and a revolutionary 150-grain Spitzer, or pointed, bullet, fired at a muzzle velocity of 2,700 feet per second, the 30-06 Springfield was a significant improvement over previous cartridges the military had used during that era, like the 30-40 Krag, and the 4570 Government. The new cartridges also compared favorably to the revolutionary new 7x57mm Mauser cartridge. Not surprisingly, the 30-06 Springfield quickly caught on with the hunting and shooting communities, and it also served admirably in both world wars with the U.S. military. However, after World War II, the Army started seriously looking for a shorter cartridge to replace the 30-06 and experimented with new designs. From these experiments came the .308 Winchester and its close relative, the 7.62 by 51mm NATO cartridge. Advances in propellant design also allowed the .308 Winchester to fire a 150-grain bullet at the same velocity as the original 30-06 Springfield load with a significantly shorter case. Around this time, the major gun manufacturers started devoting considerable time and energy towards designing flat-shooting, high-velocity Magnum cartridges for big game hunters. Winchester developed the .264 Winchester Magnum, the .338 Winchester Magnum, and the .458 Winchester Magnum cartridges in the late 1950s using shortened .375 H&H Magnum cases. They followed up on the success of these cartridges with the .300 Winchester Magnum a few years later. Though they all shoot .308 caliber bullets, there are some major differences in the external dimensions of the three cartridges. The .308 Winchester is the shortest. The 30-06 Springfield and the 300 Winchester Magnum had the same SAMI maximum authorized overall length of 3.34 inches. Since the .308 Winchester is so much shorter than the 30-06 Springfield and 300 Win Mag, it will fit into a short-action rifle, while the larger two cartridges are restricted to long-action rifles. And we'll talk more on this in a minute. Even though it has the same maximum overall length as the 30-06 Springfield, the 300 Winchester Magnum has a slightly longer and larger diameter case thanks to its .375 H&H roots. Therefore, the 300 Win Mag has significantly greater case capacity than the .308 Winchester and the 30-06 Springfield. Put simply, a cartridge with a larger case capacity can hold more powder. All other things equal, this translates into greater muzzle velocity. This is where the 300 Win Mag holds a clear advantage over the other two cartridges. The 300 Win Mag can propel a 180-grain bullet faster than the 308 or the 30-06 can push a 150-grain bullet. That being said, the .308 and the 30-06 cartridges aren't slouches either. With the help of modern propellants, both the .308 and the 30-06 are capable of firing a 168-grain bullet as fast or faster than the original 150-grain 30-06 load. That extra velocity translates into a flatter trajectory, better performance at extended ranges, and a longer effective range. For instance, when comparing .308 Winchester and 30-06 Springfield Barnes Vortex factory loads using a 168-grain Barnes TTSX boat-tail bullet to a 300 Win Mag Barnes Vortex factory load using a 165-grain Barnes TTSX boat-tail bullet, there is a significant difference in their bullet trajectories. Even though the .308 and 30-06 loads use a bullet with a higher ballistic coefficient of .470 versus .442, the 300 Win Mag still hits over a foot higher and has almost 400 foot-pounds more energy remaining at 500 yards than the .308 Winchester. All that extra velocity comes at a price in terms of recoil, though. For instance, even in a rifle that weighs nearly a pound more, the 300 Winchester Magnum generates over 60% more free recoil energy than the 308 Winchester when firing 180-grain Nosler partitions. The 308 Winchester also has noticeably less recoil than the 30-06 Springfield as well. Now let's talk about accuracy. Gun writers have spilled a lot of ink comparing the accuracy of the .308, the .30-06, and the 300 Win Mag over the years. While picking the most accurate cartridge of the three is a somewhat contentious subject, most people agree that all three cartridges are capable of excellent accuracy. For this reason, military and police snipers have used all three cartridges at various times in history, and all three cartridges have been used by competitors in long-range shooting competitions like the NRA high-power matches and the Wimbledon Cup. Indeed, no less an authority than legendary shooter Major John L. Plaster discusses the advantages of the .308 and the 300 Win Mag cartridges at length and why they're currently so popular among military and police snipers for precision shooting in his book, The Ultimate Sniper. As a slight aside, that is an excellent book, and I highly recommend that you check it out. I'll put a link to it in the show notes. Well, anyway, back to the three cartridges. The .308 Winchester probably has a slight accuracy edge over the other two, but the reality is that most of us are not nearly good enough marksmen to really be able to tell the difference between them. The .308, the .30-06, and the 300 Win Mag are all very, very accurate cartridges and are more than capable of doing the job in skilled hands when used in a quality rifle. Okay, so let's talk about rifle and ammo selection for the three cartridges. The most popular bullet weights for all three of them really fall in the 150 to 180 grain range when we're talking about hunting ammo. However, the major ammo manufacturers produce bullets for these cartridges as light as 110 grains and as heavy as 230 grains. Bullets for the .308 tend to be on the lighter end of the spectrum in the 110 to 180 grain range. 150, 165, 168, 180 grain bullets are the most common. You'll find the occasional 200 grain load thrown in there for good measure, but for the most part, 180 grains is the heaviest that you'll find for the .308, at least as far as factory hunting ammo goes. The .30-06 Springfield uses very similar bullet weights in the 110 to 220 grain range, with once again 150, 165, 168, and 180 grain bullets being the most popular, and you got a few 125, 200, and 220 grain loads out there as well. The 300 Win Mag typically uses heavier bullets in the 150 to 230 grain range, with 150, 165, 180, 190, and 200 grain bullets being the most common. And the fact that the 300 Win Mag handles those heavier bullets the best is another advantage in favor of it over the other two. Virtually every ammunition manufacturer of note, like Barnes, Browning, Federal, Hornady, Norma, Nosler, PPU, Remington, Swift, Weatherby, and Winchester, just to name a few, makes a wide variety of good quality ammo for all three cartridges. So the odds are good that you'll be able to find a load that shoots well in your rifle regardless of the one that you choose. Prices and availability for each cartridge vary from region to region and even store to store in some cases. However, .308 and .30-06 ammo is generally more common than 300 Win Mag ammo. But that's not to say that 300 Win Mag ammo is rare, because it's not. You can find it still, once again, almost anywhere. On the other hand, .308 Winchester ammo is usually the least expensive of the bunch, and 300 Win Mag ammo is typically a little bit more expensive than .308 or .30-06 ammo. If you like to hand load, then you're also in luck because reloading components and reloading data for all three cartridges is very widely available. There's also lots of good quality .308 caliber bullets to choose from, so you shouldn't have much trouble at all working up a custom load that shoots very accurately in your chosen rifle, regardless of cartridge. Just like with ammo, the major gun manufacturers produce lots of rifles chambered in all three cartridges. So regardless of whether you're a fan of Winchester, Remington, Ruger, Savage, or Weatherby, you should be able to find your favorite bolt-action rifle chambered in all three of them. However, keep in mind that the exact specifications of the same model rifle will vary slightly from cartridge to cartridge. For instance, remember when I mentioned earlier that the .308 Winchester will fit in a short-action rifle, while the .30-06 and the 300 Win Mag only fit in long-action rifles? Well, this means that, generally, rifles chambered in .308 have a shorter bolt than the exact same rifle chambered in either of the other two cartridges. Additionally, and this has nothing to do with a rifle having a short or a long action, gun manufacturers tend to put longer barrels in rifles chambered in .30-06 and 300 Win Mag. So all things considered, rifles chambered in 300 Win Mag tend to be longer, heavier, and more unwieldy than rifles chambered in either .308 Winchester, .30-06 Springfield, and this difference is the most apparent comparing the 300 Win Mag to the .308 Winchester. For instance, the Winchester Model 70 Super Grade illustrates these differences well. When chambered in .308, the rifle has a 22-inch barrel, an overall length of 42.7 inches, and weighs 7.8 pounds. The same rifle chambered in .30-06 has a 24-inch barrel, is 44.7 inches long, and weighs 8.2 pounds. Chambered in 300 Win Mag, that rifle has a 26-inch barrel, is 46.8 inches long, and weighs 8.6 pounds. The rifle chambered in 300 Win Mag is over 4 inches longer and weighs nearly a pound more than the exact same model chambered in .308. And that's not an insignificant difference. Additionally, Winchester makes a featherweight version of the Model 70 in .308 and .30-06, but not 300 Win Mag, and that version is even shorter and lighter than the super grade models I just described, and that makes it a good choice for hunters who really want a light and easy to carry rifle. So depending on the hunter and the exact situation that this person plans on using the rifle, that may be something that appeals to him or her, but more on this in a second. Okay, so we've talked about the history, external dimensions, ballistics, recoil, accuracy, and the various ammunition and rifle choices available for the .308, the .30-06, and the 300 Win Mag. Now, let's talk about picking the best one for various hunting situations. When using the right bullets and with good shot placement, all three are great hunting rounds for medium to large size game in North America, like whitetail deer, mule deer, black bear, feral hogs, pronghorn, caribou, elk, bighorn sheep, and mountain goat. The same goes for animals like red stag, tahr, fallow deer, chamois, and other game you might encounter in New Zealand, or impala, kudu, wildebeest, zebra, and other species of African plains game. And you could also use all three of these cartridges to hunt other really big species of game I didn't mention earlier, like eland, moose, bison, and brown bear under the right circumstances. For instance, Roy Lindsley used a .30-06 Springfield to take the current Boone and Crockett record Alaska brown bear all the way back in 1952. Now, all that being said, let's not get ahead of ourselves though. Some would argue that these cartridges are on the light side for really big game, particularly dangerous game like brown and grizzly bear, and there is a certain amount of truth to that statement. Going back to the Roy Lindsley case from earlier, he didn't have access to cartridges like the 300 Win Mag, the .338 Win Mag, or the .416 Remington Magnum that are much better suited for brown bear hunting these days because those cartridges simply hadn't been invented yet. The .30-06 clearly worked for him, but there are better choices modern hunters should use for that sort of hunting, starting with the 300 Win Mag and going up from there. By the same token, all three of these cartridges are far too light and not legal for use on thick-skinned dangerous game like Cape buffalo as well. So if you plan on going buffalo hunting one day, you'll need a new rifle either chambered in .375 H&H or something bigger. Those caveats aside, the .308, the .30-06, and the 300 Win Mag are still well suited for hunting the vast majority of big game in the world. Which one is best for you though? Well, picking the right cartridge of the three really depends on your personal desires and what and where you'll be hunting. For instance, do you need a cartridge suitable for hunting thin-skinned game like deer in a thickly wooded area where long-distance shots past 200 yards are uncommon and bullet drop is less of a concern? The .308 Winchester is probably the best choice in this case. Having a short, light hunting rifle is a big plus when moving through densely wooded areas. The .308 is absolutely deadly on medium game like deer, and the other two cartridges do not have a significant ballistic advantage over the .308 Winchester until ranges get past 300 yards. And the fact that .308 ammo is the least expensive of the bunch is another plus in favor of this cartridge. Now, are you very sensitive to recoil? Maybe you're planning a mountain hunt for sheep, mountain goat, Himalayan tahr, or chamois, where it would be really nice to have a lightweight but hard-hitting rifle. Again, maybe consider going with the .308. It's the lightest recoiling cartridge of the bunch, and it's available in the smallest and lightest rifles. But it's still powerful enough to get the job done. For instance, Randy Newberg often uses a Howa mountain rifle chambered in .308 Winchester on his hunts. He has cleanly taken a bunch of deer and elk with it, and there's no reason you can't either if you use good quality ammunition and if you place your shots properly. On the other hand, do you hunt in an area where shots past 300 yards are more common? The 300 Winchester Magnum might be the better choice because then you'll be able to take advantage of the cartridge's higher velocity, flatter trajectory, and superior power at longer ranges under those circumstances. By the same token, do you want to hunt a really large game like moose and eland? All three cartridges will work, but the .30-06 and the 300 Win Mag offer a clear advantage since they can use the heavier 190, 200, and 220 grain bullets that are better suited for extremely large and tough animals like that. Do you want a jack-of-all-trades rifle or a Swiss Army knife type of rifle that can accomplish the widest possible variety of tasks well with the minimum shortcomings? Then the .30-06 Springfield is your best choice for you right there. As I've stated before, the .308 Winchester, the .30-06 Springfield, and the 300 Winchester Magnum are all great rifle cartridges. While each one may be better suited to specific situations than the others, they are all generally very solid performers. And if it seemed like I was nitpicking earlier trying to illustrate the differences between them, that's because they were all so good and so close together in their overall capabilities. So, get a good quality rifle in one of these great cartridges, Learn to shoot it accurately, and it will serve you well out in the field. The difference between them is not as great as it is sometimes made out to be, and the animal will never know the difference if your shot is placed in the right spot.
Now, if you enjoyed this video, then please make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel right now. Just click that red subscribe button below to make sure you don't miss out on any of my new videos about hunting gear reviews, cartridge comparisons, and more. For more detailed information on popular hunting cartridges like the 308, 30-06, and 300 Win Mag and what they're best suited for, click on the link in the description below or go to huntingguns101.com to get a free ebook I have written on the best hunting calibers. Now I'm going to turn it over to you guys. What cartridge do you prefer? The 308, the 30-06, or the 300 Win Mag? What game have you successfully taken with them, and what ammo did you use for those hunts? Let me know by leaving a comment on this video right now. Thanks for watching, have a great day, and good hunting.